Hi, I'm Kiwi,
And I'm Jarad.
and we are the two gentlemen coming to you hot but not bothered. Jarad, how are you?
Well, mate, I'm a little bothered actually. I I sneezed the other day and I've hurt my ribs. So the age has really kicked in. I've got sore, I literally got sore ribs from sneezing 3 days ago. So yeah, that was
Wow.
it was one sneeze too. It wasn't like a sneeze attack. It just I'm on the lounge and I'm sitting on the lounge and I'm like, did that actually do something? Because you know what an injury feels like. Like, yeah, no, I pulled a muscle in my rib somewhere. So
Wow. That's
that's
aging.
not ideal, no. But yeah, no, other than that, I'm all good. I'm all good.
I'm sorry to hear about your ribs though, Jarad.
Oh, look, I'll survive, mate. I've had worse, but yeah. What about yourself? How are you?
Good. My ribs are great.
Good, good.
Yep. Yep. I went to an all you can eat.
Don't take it for granted, mate. It could sneeze at any time.
It's true. I actually always have sneeze attacks. I don't do this, one sneeze at a time stuff.
You don't
Yeah.
do this.
It's actually probably the manliest thing that I do, my sneezing.
Oh,
It's
really?
like, yeah, it sounds like it's coming from an old man.
Oh, I'm laughing. It's hurting my ribs.
I've had a really good time lately. My sister and niece have been up from Victoria,
Oh,
and
awesome.
unfortunately they've had to leave.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was just really really nice. It was a really extended holiday period, so they were up here for Christmas and New Year's, and they stayed for an extra week and a bit. And
yeah.
we went to an all-you-can-eat Japanese restaurant the other night, uh, just around the corner from where you live, actually. Well, not too far anyway. And yeah, it was just so much fun. And again, it was just family time. That's all. And nothing
Yeah.
special or anything. But just when you're with your family, you don't have to do anything major. It's just
Hmm.
nice to be around the right people. So yeah, I had a great time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we had a little drive. Like everything was a bit. We kept everything a bit close this Christmas, and we went for a little drive around Balmain, and found this little. Well, I knew of it back when I first got my license. Somehow we all knew about this place, and it's right near the hub. Like you almost can throw a rock and hit the harbour bridge. Like it's like this spot, this little grass area, but you feel like you're sitting in someone's backyard, but it's not. It's open space. But it sort of just took the girls and the wife down there, and we just went for a drive through Parramatta, and counted the dogs on the street and counted the
Mm,
all the people walking around, and yeah, it was good. It was just nothing special. We didn't go anywhere. We just family time, as you say.
yeah, nice.
But no, that was good. But anyway, I well, we've had this idea, and I just want to throw something towards you, Kiwi. I
Yes,
really
Jared.
like your hair today. There's a lot of lot of volume to it, and it's really brings out your eyes. Yeah, that was a bit weird. I don't know about you, but like giving a compliment to other man can be a little strange. Yeah,
It is, and I wonder why that is, Jared. But thank you, I appreciate that. And I'm just checking myself out in the webcam right now.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, my hair looks kind of cool. This is my bed head, by the way.
Oh, well, it's lovely. It really is. Like that's your wife's a lucky lady. But it is weird, man. It's so weird, but it's not weird. If I said to you, "Oh, Kiwi, that bike you ride is awesome.
That's right,
I
but
love
that's
the
not
I
directly
love the
complimenting me. That's
yeah."
complimenting my bike.
Or I love the wheels that you put on that. You bought the wheels for that. Yeah, I love the new wheels you put on your bike or in your car, or like that's not as weird. But
Mm,
to give a man a compliment, physical compliment, I suppose, is a little weirder. But yeah, I don't know. Is there more to this?
definitely, that's a really good question. Yeah, why do men find it hard to give and receive compliments?
Mm.
Now,
Receiving the compliment is a hard one too. Yeah,
yeah, it's almost as if you're giving somebody a compliment, you're giving them a leg up over you. It's you're rating them above you, and men can often be quite competitive. So it's like you don't want to give anything away. On the other hand, receiving compliments can be hard for a man, especially if it's about your physical appearance, because it's almost as if, like, especially in Australia, we've got this thing, oh, you can't love yourself or anything like that.
yeah,
So, we're
yeah,
really self-deprecating. Our whole Australian sense of humor is very self-deprecating. So we can't accept that.
yeah.
But yeah, maybe there needs to be a cultural shift towards being able to humbly accept a compliment.
I have no backing for this other than watching MTV. But like, I think the newer generation of guys are maybe a little bit more comfortable with this sort of thing, like giving compliments on appearance and things like that. I can't imagine walking up to, our parents' generation and saying to, I really like the haircut you got. That's really lovely, like to my dad or his friends or whatever, but I think the new, and I'm only talking because I'm not part of that generation. I'm way off that generation, but I think there's a little bit more comfort there, or there's something there that may have shifted. I'm not too sure. Like I said, I don't really have much of backing other than the TV shows I watch. Get made to watch by my wife, sorry.
Jarad, how do you feel if another man gives you a compliment?
Yeah, it's funny because I almost feel like, oh, why are you noticing? Like,
okay, almost like a bit suspicious.
Well, that means you were looking, like, and not in a bad, but it's just like, oh, does that mean like when I go out and, for me, I just chuck on a shirt and a pair of shorts and my shoes and go, like, I don't really pay attention to how my beard looks or how my hair looks or whether or not my skin's been, moisturized. If someone actually says, oh, wow, your beard looks pretty good today, I'm like, oh, that was dead set fluke. Like, I have no, and it's like, should I be paying attention to that now? Like, there's people out there that do pay attention to their appearance way more than what you and I would do.
Mm-hmm.
But so a compliment like that would be, oh, sweet, yeah, I just got it trimmed and like all that sort of thing. But for me, it's purely by chance. I just woke up like this. But yeah, it is weird when it's about an appearance sort of thing. I always found it funny, like I kind of just said earlier about, it's those wheels you put on your car is amazing. I literally just bought them. Like, I picked them. I didn't do it. The guy at the shop did it. And I didn't make the car. Like, I didn't make the wheels. I didn't do anything. I just went to a shop and go, give me that. It's but like I said, we're more comfortable in that sense.
It's almost a little bit confronting because we have to look at ourselves when somebody gives us a compliment. It's in a way, it's the same kind of energy as giving us some criticism, because there's still some sort of reflection we have to go through. For some of us, it's easier. Like, if you did compliment me on my hair, like, that's just nothing because I didn't put any effort in. But there's actually a guy that lives in my complex, and he's ripped. Okay. And I have no problems complimenting him, and he seems to take it pretty well. And I like that. He's a little bit younger than us, so maybe 5 or 6 years younger. But I guess because he's put so much effort in to going to the gym and getting to that state, he's probably aware that, hey, this does look good. Yeah, so it's okay. He can handle that. But
when you compliment on his obliques, he can go, yeah, well, I just work them out.
Well, he does. He doesn't skip any part of his body. But if I were to compliment him on his beautiful blue eyes, which he does have, he might find that a little bit strange.
Well, he's had no. Yeah, that's right. Unless he wears contacts and chose those, he's got no. That's not his. That's just like what he was born with. Yeah,
exactly. He did no work for that.
And it's an interesting sort of, and I suppose, is it? Yeah, I don't know, like, because it's this is getting deeper than I thought. Actually, this is just a comment about
You just like my hair today. That was really nice of you, Jarad. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's nice when you look at a screen and you see some nice hair looking back, because I'm a little jealous. But that's why I wear hats. But like, receiving a compliment means that means the day before you might not have you didn't receive that compliment, so you're like, oh, was I rubbish the day before, or the last time we saw each other, or whatever, so it's definitely plays on your mind a little bit, like if you really want to get deep about it.
And what about when they stop coming? What about when you stop getting those compliments? For example, if you've got them all your life, you've received all these accolades for whatever reason, whether you're a professional athlete or a musician, and then you're no longer the flavor of the month. That would be hard too.
It would be hard to take. I'm just trying to sort of think about, things and situations in the past, but yeah, it's I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but basically, yeah, it's I can imagine it would be hard, like for let's go to someone who is an athlete. I know we always sort of draw towards athletic stuff, sports guys, but yeah, like you lose that physical thing, and age catches up with you, and you bust your rib sneezing, things like that. Like you just don't. Sometimes it's hard for them to take. I would imagine. A new person comes into work who has done an extra degree, or and a new employee, and they've just got that little bit of edge on you, and things move on too. Time moves on, and you talk to I'm just pulling this profession out of my backside, but you talk to an engineer and from the 70s, they're different to an engineer now.
That's right,
and and even before that, so it would be hard to be that go-to guy, and then all of a sudden you don't know the new thing that's sort of happened. It's kind of sobering, actually, when you think about it.
Yeah, look, we're all just a passing fad when you think about it. We're all obsolete after a little bit of time, and I guess getting a compliment shows that you have some sort of value. So everyone needs to feel valued. To have self-love, you need to feel like you're contributing something to this environment, to this world, to this tribe that you're in. And a lot of us, we peak, a long, long time ago. And if we disappeared from the face of the earth, would we, have any value? I did this training course where the trainer said, there's value added roles in society, and there are those that don't provide so much value. For example, the example she gave was, imagine somebody who provides childcare services. If that person no longer existed, you'd need to replace them with somebody else who provides the same service. Whereas somebody that feeds the ducks at the park, that person, they're doing something nice. You might like walking past them and saying hello. But if that person disappeared, the council wouldn't go, oh no, the bench is empty, we need to replace that person feeding the ducks. So we all need to feel valued, I guess, and we all need to actually contribute to society and your tribe, whatever it is that you live in, the family unit. So yeah, compliments are a way of reflecting that hey man, you add something here, and that's
that's a direct sort of like, yep, I've noticed it. Like one-on-one, I'm looking at you going, yep, I've noticed that you make a difference, whatever it may be. So that's your compliment. Like people receive, like for me, like I look at things, as, oh, look, I can see that I've made a difference. So I give myself a compliment, I guess that's part of the whole, self-care thing. And without being there and, standing on a soapbox and tooting my own horn, I guess. But it's one of those things that you can give yourself a compliment and you don't feel uncomfortable, because that's in the privacy of your own head. But but yeah, when it comes out, I mean, look, I can take a compliment from, about things that I do. I don't have a problem with taking a compliment like that. Like that's a different sort of compliment, yeah. Like
it's an earned one. Something you've actually done, and I guess
just a good day at work, or a good week at work, or being recognised in that regard. Like that's a lot easier, because you've achieved it.
Yeah, especially when there's a financial reward at the end of it. It's like, well, society is saying that this is valuable. That's why I'm getting this money for it. That's why they've created this job for it.
Mm.
How are you with giving out compliments, Jarad? Are you ever hesitant to tell a guy, hey man, it's really nice shoes, or you look really good today?
You asking me that question is a tough one, because I actually don't feel like I would be, but I can't remember ever my last time I've ever done anything like that.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So it's a funny one for me, and I don't really know how to answer that. I don't remember actually doing it, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to try it. I think it's probably homework.
guess what I'm trying to get at, what you've brought up with for me is that men need men are as emotionally needy as anybody else as children. So
Yeah.
people think, oh yeah, he's a bloke, he can take it or whatever. But we do like being told, hey man, you look good today. It certainly doesn't go astray. That's for sure.
No, it doesn't. And I guess it's just, I suppose it's on the individual receiving the compliment on how they take it. Maybe like, if you're happy with me to say, hey mate, your hair looks great. And I said it kind of in jest at the start, but you have great hair.
Thanks, man. I'm just checking it out again. Thank you.
But yeah, like if you, if you take that on as like, oh, why is he saying that for? What's he noticing? If you're defensive, then giving a compliment to you is probably not the same as giving a compliment to someone who will take that and go, yeah, thanks, man. Like, like I suppose as a compliment giver, you may have to read the room a little bit as well. Like some people just aren't comfortable with, receiving compliments. And I don't know what that is. And there'd be many reasons why.
I guess the elephant in the room is there's probably a little bit of homophobia. I think, if a guy's finding me attractive, oh, geez, what's going on there? It might not be so overt where I'm not saying the person would necessarily be a homophobe or anything, but there may be an element of, being worried that somebody finds you attractive.
Mm. Yeah. Like I did my hair today, but I didn't do it for a bloke to notice.
Yeah. So I'm certainly not afraid of getting a compliment from a man. And to be honest, I'd feel insulted if gay men didn't find me attractive. I'd be like, really?
What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
I have to be someone's type.
Exactly. I mean, look, I'm not exactly at the top of the list. If I were to go onto Tinder, as soon as I put in my height, I'd be like, I'd be getting swiped the wrong way. I don't know which way it is, left or right, but I know I'd go the wrong way. I can tell you that.
Swiped wrong.
Yeah, exactly. But if I went on Grindr, I reckon I'd have a pretty good run.
No, it's still fun. But yeah, well, it's funny. I just made it sort of like a joke then, but I think some people are actually like can give compliments within a joke, like they disguise it with humor, so if you do want to give a compliment to another guy, sometimes people are more comfortable putting it into sort of like some sort of joke, like a lot of things that people find uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think we have to have like a set move on how to receive a compliment. And I think just being gracious and saying, thank you, that's very nice, will do. We don't have to deflect and, go on a big, oh, no, got nothing to do with me. Oh, no, it's my, my dad's hair. I just inherited these genes or whatever. You can actually just say, oh, thank you, that's really nice. And maybe return the compliment.
Yeah, actually, it just made me think like, I don't have many hairstyles available to me these days. But when I do, when I do shave my head, someone's like, oh, you got a haircut. I'm like, oh yeah, just thought I'd shave down for the tournament, and I just I do kind of, whether that's a compliment or like, oh wow, you got a haircut, you're very bald. But that to me, I'm just sort of, deflecting that with a little bit of, humor or, I need to, need to cut the hair down for wind resistance and stuff, and I think that's probably my go-to for receiving any form of compliment, maybe. And
I'm sure it's the same for many Australian men.
Yeah. And it's, just passing comment by somebody that you probably see once every, these days you don't pass people in hallways at work, but back when we were able to go to work.
And how much does a compliment stick to your psyche and your self-esteem relative to criticism? And this is what I don't like. I find that a lot of people get criticized and they'll take that to heart so much, but a compliment doesn't do nearly the same, just lacks the power, has no steam at all. It comes and just evaporates, whereas some criticism can stick with somebody for life. What does that say about us?
Yeah, it's people can hold on to criticism for a very long time. And I don't know what it says about us, but I tell you what, like I just said, like a compliment can come in and, you know, you fob it off with a joke and then it's gone into thin air. But if someone goes the opposite way and gives you criticism, you don't joke about it. You know, you don't fob it off.
No, that's right.
It's the opposite, you know, and it takes a lot for you to let go of that. You know, you even bring that home to your safe space, you know, and be like, oh, geez, somebody, and it could be for years, you know, be like, oh man, I didn't realize I had like a, you know, a monobrow or whatever, like whatever, you know, like a physical thing that somebody notices. Like for me, you know, like that, or it's, you know, a way I do things at work or a way I do things around the house, you know, like that sticks to you more. It's definitely got, sticks like mud compared to the compliment, which, mate, it should be the other way around.
Exactly. That's my point. How did this happen? You know, how did we evolve to become like this? The amount of people that you hear say, "Oh no, I did this, but you know, this person told me I wasn't very good, so I gave up." And you're like, "What? One person told you that?" Well, I'm telling you, you are good, so keep going. They're not going to listen to you.
Yeah.
They'll listen to the other guy.
We only got half an hour for this episode because I'll tell you what, there's definitely been some thought processes. It's funny that, you know, how I wish it was just reversed. I really do. I don't know how we're not going to make it reverse, but wow, suppose you can make it reverse in your own little bubble.
Well, look, my saying is when you know the game, you can break the game. And when you are aware that this happens, you can flip the script. You can just say, okay, well, why do I do that personally? I know we do it on a bigger societal level, but why do I do that? Why do I let the criticism get to me, but don't accept the compliments? And I think if we can all work on that, then at least we can, get to a point where we're like, okay, right, well, it's because when I was young, this happened and it stuck with me because perhaps I was scared or something.
And if you consciously make that decision, if you consciously follow that mantra or whatever you want to call it, that says, you know what, someone gives me a compliment, I'm going to actually take this in. Like me, as Jarad, does that. And if someone gives me criticism, I'll listen, but it's not going to burden me. Like you said, it's one person give you criticism and it's one person giving you a compliment. So why should the criticism outweigh the compliment? Like,
I don't know.
If anything, it should be even. But in with what we're saying now is like, well, why can't we flip it? It's been for however long people have taken criticism on and let it hurt them. Why don't we flip it? And, like you said, as yourself, you make the one change for yourself and be aware. And then all of a sudden that drips down into, your kids.
Yeah.
Like then your family, then all like, oh wow, he's a positive person. I suppose it's, there are people out there that are quite positive. So I guess that's maybe part of how they deal with things like that.
I guess it's just how they were built. It comes down to childhood.
Yeah.
As you know, my youngest son is quite the rebel and he's very vocal about everything. And I remember giving him a compliment about something and he just shrugged his shoulders, goes, so what? I don't care. It's only my opinion that counts. And this was for something positive. And I just thought, that's so cool. He doesn't need my approval.
He doesn't care if it's good, bad, or otherwise.
No, he's just doing his thing. I love it.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to share another story. I try to learn from everybody I meet. So for me, wisdom comes from anybody. And some really good advice I got was there was a girl who she must have been in about year 7 at the time. So it was in 2017. So like 4 years ago, maybe 7 or 8. And I'd got knocked out of the semifinals of a comedy competition, and I was pretty disappointed. And I told her about it. And she said to me, oh, look, that's okay. You should take this as inspiration and try to get as good as everyone else and, have a growth mindset. That were her words as a 13-year-old girl telling me this. And that always stuck with me. So I just thought, thank you. That's really nice. And I guess I'm trying to compliment her, but also, I'm going to compliment myself here that I can take on wisdom from anybody. I don't judge her as being a 13-year-old. Oh, well, what would a 13-year-old girl know? For me, it's like, no, she's right. Yep. I'm moping around and she's way smarter than me in that regard. I'll take that. Yep.
And that's like a snippet of like a little nugget of wisdom,
yep.
And you can take that and use it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and I will. And I've used the term mindset so much on our show. And I actually think she's the one that put it in my head.
Yeah,
Just the
there you
term.
go.
It's a
So,
very common term, but I'm like, for me being conscious of it, I think it came from her.
and you're actually man enough to go, I got this from a 12 or 13-year-old girl that gave me this advice, like,
Yeah, look,
like
she's
there's a
smarter
lot
than
of
me.
people that wouldn't be able to do that,
Yeah,
that wouldn't be able to go, they'd be like, oh yeah, this is, you just say it and take the credit as such in your own head. But, the fact to sit here and go, no, I was told this by a kid in year 7, like,
yeah,
and that's cool, like how you can take things, like I said, she could have said 5 minutes worth of talking there, but that little nugget of information is now literally part of your life.
yeah. It is. It's actually ingrained in my whole philosophy. Just
Yeah.
growth mindset all the time. And it's not that I was never aware of it before, but I think she really cemented it in there. That one conversation.
Sometimes, and this is why compliments and criticism can be like can have an effect, is sometimes it's just one word,
yeah,
and you use it as you see fit.
Yeah.
So she's used, growth mindset, and however she chooses to use it, but you've now taken that on and adapted that. So that's why, maybe that's a form of taking on someone's advice and whatever. So a compliment is someone's advice almost as well. And a criticism is someone's advice, so, and you've taken that criticism / compliment on and using it to your either advantage or detriment, I guess. But it's crazy. It really is. Like, sorry, I'm just starting to realize a few things. Like,
yeah. Jarad, I know we're getting close to the end of time, and I want to bring this up. Women, complimenting women. How comfortable are you to give a woman a compliment on her looks?
I've never been comfortable. And you know what I think it is? Look, I'll say it straight away. You feel like if you give someone a compliment, they're going to think, oh, well then, you start the process of, does he want to, want to be, like, does he want to try and pick me up, like, that sort of thing, and I guess that's a hard thing for a man to do without, and then the more you try and say, no, I just literally think, you look good in that dress or whatever, like, if you say that to a female, that's straight away that leads to, oh, well, wow, this guy's saying this and he's got a family, like, or before you were married, like, oh, this guy wants to, wants to get in my pants, like, it just to me, it unfortunately leads down that path when, you don't want it to, but it just leads down that path.
Yeah.
I don't know. Am I right in saying that? Like, I sort of, like, I don't think that way, but I'm sure, like, there's delivery as well too, I guess.
Yeah. I think delivery is most of it. The energy you bring to something. Yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from, though, that you would be afraid of it being misconstrued.
Yeah. It's, and I mean, obviously on the other end, like, I've never walked in these shoes, but, being a female, receiving compliments from a male who, is a work colleague or is, a friend or whatever, that, do you jump straight to that? Hopefully that doesn't happen, but, like, jumping straight to that isn't always the case, I guess. It shouldn't always be the case.
Yep. Yeah, it's a tricky one. Yeah, and that's the politics between men and women as well that we're getting into there.
Oh, yeah. I just showed in that last 2 minutes. I have no idea. So
yeah. See, I'm lucky that a lot of people assume I'm gay anyway. So, and that's not a joke. So it's quite easy for me to be able to say something to a woman. She's like, "Oh, thanks, Kiwi," and it's just, "Oh, that gay guy's got, I can trust him because he's got really good taste." He knows what a good dress looks like.
And they completely freak out when they find you straight. Like, oh my God, comment.
He was hitting on me the whole time.
Yeah,
But
the
yeah,
whole
look,
time.
I used to have the same fears as you. I always thought I can't, give too much to a female, because they'll think I'm hitting on them. And, once I got over that, it actually opened up a lot of great relationships. And it put me in a position where, I connect with women very easily. And, I love women. I've always loved the company of women, and purely as friends. It's always been great for me. I love the energy of women. And all of my female friends, I, freely give out compliments to, because, they deserve it. I think they deserve to hear it. They deserve to know how beautiful and wonderful and smart they are. So I like to tell them, and hopefully they can go, wow, this guy who wants absolutely nothing from me, there's someone out there in the world that thinks I'm awesome. That's cool.
Yeah. And it is cool. And it's like we said that, if we flip it, like people need compliments, and they need to hold on to those compliments, because, there's a lot of criticism out there. And
yeah,
if people are afraid to give a compliment to a female because, they've got that fear of, oh, what will they think of me? Do they think that I'm trying to hit on them? Then there's a lot of people out there not receiving compliments they probably should receive.
Exactly. Yeah, we're holding back, and it's like, oh, did I ever tell you this? No, you never told me that. Oh, well, yeah, you do really have great shoulders, or whatever it is. And all this person's life, they've just been walking around being self-conscious about this or that, and they were never told that, how amazing they were.
Yeah.
So look, everyone, we're at the end of our time, but if you can fill someone's cup, do it. Let them know. If that, there's someone, especially your own partner, let them know how amazing they are, because, we all love to hear it.
Yeah, definitely. And, as every day goes by that you don't give a compliment, that adds up, and if you can just, aim to at least give a compliment or two when you think about it, like, it'll make someone's day, make a difference, it could make a difference down the long run too, in the long run.
Yeah. It shows how much power we all have to help each other and to fill each other's emotional needs, really. And and all the parents out there, don't forget, your kids are really listening to everything you say. Well, for a while there. And, when it comes to compliments and criticism, it really cuts deep, especially when they're young. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Jarad, I just want to say you're looking great.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate that.